Well, thank you, Dietrie. Thank you, Mark. What a wonderful week.
It's been powerful.
Wow.
Powerful,
And,
transformative.
Yeah.
Transformational.
And this is still the remnants of last night. We were playing Palace. And these are with our High Desert Human Design cards. That we,
I love
Three of
that.
Clubs. I was just talking about the Three of Clubs with Ray.
Nice.
But, God. Oh, and here you are. We got the Queen of Diamonds.
That's one of my cards.
It's also Ra was the Queen of Diamonds.
Yep.
Oh,
Queen
nice.
of Diamonds.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm
Here I am, Queen of Hearts.
an ace
Queen
of
of
diamonds.
Oh, I love the Ace of Diamonds.
That's
Mike
my
The Ace of
planetary ruling card.
and Mike is an Ace of Diamonds.
So it's kind of like the ascendant. So it has we have a strong connection in that way.
Yeah, I've been
cool.
talking a lot about
That's cool.
Ace of Diamonds and going into some of the
Oh, nice.
interesting details
Nice. Yeah, Ray
there.
told me that the other day.
Yeah. So, well,
Here we are. So
so
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me and your
of course.
invitation. It's been
Oh,
wonderful.
my word. It's we've had such a fun week, and yeah, it's not over. I mean, it's over, but I could tell the beginning and the end. The crest for me was Saturday night, around midnight. Midnight to 1 a.m. is when I finally felt everyone take a collective sigh of relief of like, we made it, we're here. Like that was the fifth line, and then it's like all sixth line from here on out. Like now
It
it's
was more like 2:30 a.m. when I finally got to sleep.
last night. Okay.
No, on Saturday.
Oh, on Saturday. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
Saturday
when.
was amazing.
That was when. That's when the cross of tension could finally convert to the cross of relaxation.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Right.
Get all that tension out and just relax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, your theme song's that like Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax. Don't do that.
We were playing that last night.
Oh, jeez, that's your
They
theme
were.
song.
That was one of my
It was so
requests. I
fun.
played-
Oh my God, you put it on.
You
Yeah, that's-
did? That was you? That's awesome, Mark.
Oh yeah, we had a
Yeah.
reflector jukebox last night. You know, it was really fun because Hanifa was on. She was taking requests, and it was just so random. It's like every song's a surprise. So that was kind of
She was sampling.
yeah. She was sampling, right? She's sampling the auras of the different frequencies.
It was
It
special.
was really fun. So I danced a little bit. I put on Burna Boy, Young Thug, some of my favorites. You know.
I kept hearing Kimberly go, that's my favorite song. And then a little while later, that's my favorite song. It was fun.
Is she individual? What do you? Because it happens. I have so many favorite songs depending on the mood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I mean, individually.
Yeah, I'm going to close. There's going to be some audio coming in from the other room. So how about this? I'm going to be right back on screen. We're just going to...
Close the door. We're on the sound stage, and someone left the side door open on the sound stage.
All right. And so maybe this is a good opportunity while I'm standing. Maybe
Yes.
I could show the camera a little bit
Yes.
closer.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
I'll be very, very careful. So this
It's old school.
is from 1995.
Wow.
And can you take a look at that? There's a little bit of a...
You need help there?
Adjust that, Stephanie. Just kind of adjust it. Turn it this way for a minute. Just to avoid the glare.
It's still got a glare.
What about this way? What about the other way?
Yeah, probably better. Yeah, there you go.
Hi. Sorry. Oh my God. Okay. Don't worry. You can't see anything.
Just
You can't see
napping
anything.
over
There's
here.
no one under the blanket. Don't mind that moving thing.
Yeah, that's just all blanket. That's just a lump.
So the bed laughs. The bed laughs. It likes a good joke.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, yeah, the dots. What do the dots mean?
Well, Michael told me it, and I didn't understand it, of course. But there was something significant about the dots, and that's why I was hoping you might know.
I mean, it's ornamentation, I guess.
It was something else. He said
Okay.
something about Dewan has this amazing mandala. It's and Ra actually saw it before he passed, shortly before he passed,
Oh, wow.
and he reached back out to him and said, "Please send me a version that's more clear." I guess whatever he sent him wasn't, but the detail and what Dewan did with, and he has it on his available.
Yeah.
it's so precious. But
Wow.
there's a symbol there that has these dots.
Well, that's what I was saying is base
Yeah.
too. No, I think we are talking about the same thing.
Oh,
because I just
okay.
know Mike so well that I know how Mike thinks.
Yes,
And
yes.
he would immediately go to the base 2 symbol, which has a dot. It looks like a kind of almost like an E, but with extra line in the back. There's a dot here, a dot here, and a dot there. And what the dots were, and when Rob was talking about them, were basically, he called them ornamentation, but it was kind of like an adornment in some sense. So you're kind of adorning it. But we've got to get that mandala for the Center for Human Design. And for those who aren't familiar, Duan Manuel, so incredible. HD for the people. Check out HD for the people.
Yes.
And
What a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was so special meeting him this time.
and the work that pours through him is profound.
Yeah, it was so
very
nice meeting
special.
him. And so, but there's a really interesting story about this, which is that you were showing it.
Well, the beginning was thank you for your invitations, because the third invitation to speak, I said yes. I think I have something to share. I'm humble and I'm thrilled. And so we looked at different days, and it landed on Sunday morning at 10. And when I brought my certificate in and was setting up and we were getting ready, James Dean, within a second of looking at it, he went, Dietrie, this is today.
Yeah.
28 years ago,
Yeah.
today was Sunday.
I mean, this is literally, September.
I get
17th,
goosebumps. Yes. 1995.
1995, right there. September 17th, 1995. I mean, come on, that is just.
The serendipity,
Yeah.
I mean, it's more, it feels like more than that, right?
28 years?
28
Is that
years.
28 years? Wow.
28 years. Isn't that crazy?
That is amazing. I love that.
It was so
Which is
beautiful.
also, of course, a Saturn cycle.
Saturn
Well, I was just
cycle.
gonna
4
say,
sevens, yeah.
well, it's also
Right.
the first 7 years. It was done after the first 7 years of
Yeah.
the transmission, in a sense.
Yeah, so that was.
It was the first cycle after the transmission.
Yeah,
my
that's true,
gosh.
because if you go.
Thank you for
Wow,
pointing that out,
that is
Mark.
so cool. That is.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
There was
that-
some
yeah.
synchronicity that was so special to all of this.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. This guy right here, he's okay.
I
This is
know.
what Mark wanted. He said, put him up there.
There we
you
go.
know.
Yeah,
Oh,
he deserves
nice.
his spot. There
Nice.
you go.
And
Love
thanks to Kathleen, who won this in the night in the raffle, and then donated it to the Center for Human Design. It was so sweet of her. She was like, "Well, I want the center to have it." So yeah.
Oh, Kathleen,
Yeah,
thank
that
you.
was so-
What
Rod
an
seems
angel.
happy about it.
Yes. Yes, right?
Yes, that's me. Content at least.
Wow. That's so fun. Well,
Well, we picked a good picture.
let's have Rachel. I'm gonna swap out.
Okay.
Okay. So I thought maybe off screen is Rachel, known as Rachel, which I also love because R-A-Y obviously has a lot of significance. Ray being like
Oh, you-
rays of
she can see
light.
yours.
No, right here. I want you guys to chat for a minute. I just want to check on a couple things, make sure it's working. She's my Queen of Hearts swap out. And I swap out a Queen of Hearts for a Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
We keep the same dynamic going.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
Ray and I have 3420 and chill as in cold cognition. Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, well.
Well, as far as topics, I just wanted to hear maybe just anything really. I mean,
Well, I had asked Dietrie last night, because she was around Ra and the groups. How is the evolution of our community, the vibe felt?
Mm-hmm. It was certainly very special. The people that were drawn in. I still have a connection with Tom Pfeiffer, and we stayed friends over all this time. And beautiful people. Ed Stanton was an angel, and he trained several people that were here. So it was exciting for me to hear that Ed, passed on. He and Ra were thick as thieves. They were adorable. They'd go smoke together and had this connection. So it was a beautiful group, and we definitely smaller. So it's different when you have this vibe. I was one of the younger people at that time, early 30s, when I came into it. So there was one young man a little younger than me, and everybody else was older and then much older. You know, so it was really fun to see the blend of people together, and you know, the energetic was lovely. And then we did our smaller training for our analyst training, and then grouped up with more people, maybe 30 people for the analyst certification and the teacher training. So, yeah, so lovely, beautiful humans, and it's a blessing to stay connected. Some of them, I wonder where they are.
You're probably thinking the same thing.
Right?
Especially right now, that thought's going into the
Yes.
We're
the
sending it out
neutrino
into
stream
the niches.
is taking it and moving.
And
it.
one of the things that I did share some beautiful pictures from the days that are in this amazing book
Yes.
Perfect.
that Jonah put in.
Let me show.
You wanna show some of the
pictures? Yeah,
pictures?
just to the camera. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you?
I would love that.
It's they're a treasure. Ra and I were both much younger, which is fun. But I have to say, Jonah, one of the things that I love that you did is on one side you have a picture of when I asked Ra, "Can I take your picture?" And he's got this stare that's intense that penetrates right through you. And then on the opposite side, you have the photo that I have of him playing guitar and his pure joy radiating. And playing guitar and singing brought him the most joy.
Yeah.
So you can really see
That's
the
him saying,
joy
okay, yes,
and the
sure.
raw, like,
Yeah.
all
I
right,
love that.
Dietrie, you can
And check out these boots.
take my photos.
Just-
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying, Rachel, like, he's stylish. He's a fashionista.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, he was
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. His family was like fashion houses in
Right.
Toronto, in
Right.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yes.
He was.
Yes.
He had the best black outfits.
Yeah.
Yes. And beautiful boots and
I love
hats.
this. Was it a shirt or a hat that said, "I'm only wearing black until they invent a darker color"?
I love it.
So.
And there's a sweet photo of him with his daughter Sarah, and you can just see his tenderness with her is
that's
quite
so
lovely.
nice. Yeah, that's the photo right
And
here.
that's so sweet.
Really.
I
the
love
smiles.
that.
Yeah, really.
And
wonderful.
also with Jürgen, there's that first photo with Jürgen, which is lovely, who was so wonderful and important for the beginning of Ra's journey, you know. The other part that's fun, like some of the stories I was sharing about Ra was, first class, right? I'm a newbie, don't know a thing, and I'm, 27 in my moon. And I remember my first reading with him, he would do this, "Oh, isn't that lovely?" And it was so sarcastic because it's this exalted, beautiful line, great mother nourisher, on Community Channel. It just was like, and I'd already been doing body work for 10 years by then. So I just was like, this is lovely. And he just does this, "Isn't that lovely?" Sarcasm to me. And it's like, okay, And, but I remember that first seminar, and I noticed that he was drinking tea, and I went up to him during a break and I said, may I bring you some more tea? And he said, yes. And I brought him the tea, and he took the cup and he said, "This is you being sexual with me." And I just went totally red as a beet. It was like, he was very penetrating, I was like,
Oh, hey, you know.
right? He was
All through the
intense.
cup of tea.
And there's another funny one, because of course, doing bodywork forever, I'd offered to give him a massage at any time, and he actually took me up on it.
Oh my god.
And it was like a year later in Albuquerque, they were doing a promo, and I remember that's when I brought Doc up to meet him, and he, and of course their energetic was like, "Who are you?" He was like, why is Dietrie hanging out with you guys so much? And but he let me give him a massage, and he talks about how cold he's, cold splenic, like a snake, and like doesn't hug, very different that way. Like his energetic is so pure, right? Well, so the next morning when he came out for the presentation, he said, "Dietrie, no blame, but look what happened." he lost his tooth. That lower tooth came out after the massage.
What?
The next morning.
You loosened him all up.
I don't know if it was like a splenic cleansing, and it's like, because he smoked constantly, and I'm just thinking, I don't know what caused it. There was no blame. He laughed about it, it was like what to do. But I can promise you he probably never got a massage again.
Use the door closer. You closed the door on massage.
I think so. And it was very rare. In fact, Tom Pfeiffer, when I told him that, he went, I don't believe you. I'm like, Tom, I would never lie about this. That's ridiculous. He's so funny.
We got to get Tom here.
Tom is awesome. And he and Ra had a blast together. They were just da-da-da-da-da and mental banter and just fun. So I did talk to him before this conference, and we'll see. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if Rod took the tooth under the pillow and informed the tooth fairy that he wants a nice donation.
Right. Yes.
Oh.
But I'm so grateful to have that, download from him. I did follow him after that, my certification. I went to Germany for a month and trained there. Got to train with, have a seminar with Martin Grassinger, which was awesome. I was already really deep into health and, whatnot, and homeopathy interested me. And then in 2003, I went to Sedona and did more trainings. I mean, it was just a blessing. And then,
nice.
My beautiful daughter came in, and so my world kind of shifted a bit for a while. Yeah. And then went on to study with Jakub and PTL 1 and 2. So it's lovely to be part of the newer info too, and the depth that you all get now is amazing. It's amazing.
I know. I still haven't watched the replay, but I know Jakub did a talk that was really well received.
I can't wait to see it. I did not. But I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think part of the thing about I was kind of joking that. Yeah, it's HDHD conference, but it's kind of like HDHD Burning Man. It's a little more like that. Right? It's a little more like there's so much to do, you can't do it all. You walk in. We saw fire dancing at one point.
Festival, HD festival.
That was random. The first year we actually had a scheduled fire dancer.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's HDHD Fest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And then people on the remote access pass, they've actually taken to calling it High Frequency Human Design Festival because of the videos, and they're saying what a frequency there. So
it's been amazing.
It was really.
I love the variety. I really love that. Of course, there's like, ooh, I hope that person comes back, or thank God, thank goodness you did a great job, by the way.
Yes,
spinning all those plates.
And
this is a treasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I have tears, and it's like the best, most treasured coffee table book ever. And I just love what you did. Thank you.
Well, I got a nice, sweet message from Chaitanya, who did the wonderful Pure Vida conference with Alokanand Diaz down in Costa Rica, and he said, wow, you are so well organized, and there's just so much going on. And I said, one of those statements is true. There's a lot going on. Yeah, we're definitely, you got it. The organized people are like, wait, was it here? Is it there? Is it so next year, just one little update is we are going to, last year we used the Center for Progress and Justice, formerly the Center for Peace and Justice, which is a very human design kind of thing. Although I guess progress as a keynote also fits, given its design. But then this year we used the Oddfellows Hall, and I think next year we're going to use both. And my idea that I first proposed to you was that you run one hall and I run the other, and you curate and program, and we have separate tracks.
Oh, cool.
And we develop the tracks, and people can go back and forth freely.
Yes.
But if they're also at a certain level or in a certain kind of fractal, they might just want to... It makes it so much simpler. And the other nice thing is the venues are a quarter mile from each other.
Yes.
And there's a cafe in between.
Perfect.
As long as there's a nice little buffering of time to go from one place to the other,
yes.
that would be great, because that's the only thing I would say was a little...
No, I agree. Exactly.
But there's some fine-tuning will all happen.
Yeah.
So
it's grown so much, right?
And last year we just had the one venue, and it was so much easier, but now I think with the two venues... this was the year of the human design diaspora throughout Santa Fe. So this was there were like missionaries going to all the different places, and we actually recruited a bunch of people who were like, what's going on here? Like we actually met a guy at the cafe who's just like, what he actually said to us, it was really sweet. He said, well, I've never heard of human design, and I don't know anything about it, but I can see that you are all intelligent, articulate, open-minded people, and I'd love to be a part of it. And he was a man in his 80s, I think, who was a photographer who said that he got sick of his photography group because they were all just showing off their cameras, and it's just like,
Ray
He had that
actually said
shirt
that
on.
too.
Wait, who said
Special
that?
shirt on that day. Is that the one I took a picture of you talking to the older man at the coffee shop?
Yeah.
He had a shirt on that said something.
It was really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it
definitely he stood out. I mean, the thing is, I'm not a reflector. I don't necessarily notice the one in the crowd that stands out, but sometimes it's so obvious you can't
The
not
shirt
notice
said
it.
something, and I'll
Yeah.
find it. But
Thanks,
it's
thanks,
great.
Stephanie.
It's
I
great.
appreciate
That's
that.
so
yeah.
beautiful.
And you're saying, and you're saying we
No,
heard
I was
that.
saying, Mr. Robert Ray there,
Oh.
he has been great, but he was also part of that projector group we had for the day and the lunch. And he goes, I've had a lot of groups here, but this is
is
like
the
a
group.
special, like one of the top
Feel
groups.
it.
And it's like, one of?
Well, you know what I heard about it, and I'd love to hear your kind of comments on this. But what I'd heard was that it was very there was very little collision between people, and when one person, this is actually what Ray said. He said, when someone spoke, others listened. When they spoke, the other listened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was extremely civil in that way, and there was a lack of collision. And then Monique said people weren't physically bumping into each other, that they were very aware, and that there was a
You want
intentional...
a very aware group of people. That was the day. There was a
Yeah.
lot of aware people right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really cool.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting observation there. I mean, for our generator night, we were just cooing and cawing and laughing and tittering. And I still don't know who laughs like somebody was like laughing like a monkey at night. I couldn't tell who. I was just in the cacophony, like you would just hear a
Oh my
and I'm like, who's doing that? Like there were just too many of us. We didn't even.
my
We were just all in a
gosh,
bundle.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we were all
too
laughing
funny.
and
Oh
joking.
my
Good.
Lord.
And the funny thing is, we'd be in a conversation and we would hear, "Oh, that is
free speech.
free speech is more important than your feelings." And thank you, Stephanie,
Yeah.
for
Aw,
using such great
nice.
photos. This was the guy, and he just said, "You guys seem really articulate and intelligent. And I want to see what you're up to." So I mean, it was a really,
It was so cute.
it was a really sweet thing. Yeah.
So
And,
to
and
me,
when James Alexander and I were in Iconic, there was a fella
Yeah.
there that stopped and like, what's going on? And he shared his whatever we had mentioned about human design. He said, "Boy, when I was a teacher, I just wanted to let them learn about their feelings and teach them in a different way." And it was just, he was really interested in our approach of honoring who you are. And so who knows?
Yep.
Who knows?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Rob brought in like that first line knowledge, and it feels like we're evolving to the second line phase of the whole the knowledge. Like this is kind of like the second.
Yeah, putting it into practice.
And
Putting it in
being
practice.
calling and being called.
Yeah. Awesome.
Being yeah. That's
Yeah.
And also
definitely.
narrowing down.
And it's more
and being
natural.
Yeah.
It's a more natural feel. It doesn't
Yeah.
it just seems like them in my experience of looking at, especially since on Facebook since 2009, it seems like there's more natural progression in the wider world to be open to this. And there's different things out there that whatever.
Yeah.
That's another topic, but it's opening, and it just seems there's a more natural flow with people being open to receiving. Having the taste to take it in, saying, "Hey, what is that?" And that's
and being
that's
called.
it.
Yeah.
There was a really magical moment for Brayton and Dave, and you were also there, Stephanie. And actually, there's a wider
It was
context
so
to the magic.
sweet.
Why don't you come on out here, Stephanie, for just a moment.
Come on, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Come on,
sit
Stephanie.
right there, and I'm gonna.
Well, you gotta talk to her. You wanna
No, just right
prompt her?
there. And I'm
Okay.
just gonna crouch. I just want to move it a little bit. There we go. And so it was a really fun moment where you were out at dinner with Dave and Brayton, and there's a larger story maybe you can tell in a moment, but what I loved was that, so it started with the server recognized Brayton and said, "I'm sorry, but are you dating Sam Zagar?" And he said, "We broke up 5 months ago." and then she turned to Dave and was like, "I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you?" And so she figured out they're human design people, and then they made their special orders. Dave needed his things separate, and she came out at one point and goes, So I'm really sorry. I know you're ordering according to your PHS, but and it's like
I complain. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't complaining, but I wasn't getting what I had specifically ordered, so I had to get up and go ask for it. So she was becoming very self-conscious because she obviously cares very much about what she's doing, and so that's how that whole thing started.
But I mean,
she said,
But it's so beautiful.
can't we imagine a
That's
world where the
so
server is
beautiful.
like, and what is your
Tuned
PHS?
into that.
I mean, just
I love it.
and then there's a larger story which maybe you could tell.
Well, here's two people I didn't really know, Dave and Brighton. Kind of, I never had the full, sucking in warmth that. So somehow we ended up together. They invited me to go, and I took the back seat, which is perfect for me. I've been driving across country, so I'm not directing anybody, And so Dave started off on his, just I don't know where we're going. We're just going to see where the car takes us, and we weren't landing anywhere. And then Brayton finally kind of started. He's looking down, he's cool. And he starts just offering a word or two about direction. We ended up in the end, he took over very subtly though. It was like this beautiful, no one was really trying even, it was just happening. And he took us to his favorite restaurant, and we drank these special, we let him order. It just all became about him being the guide. I don't really know what to choose. So he chose these special kava drinks, which were delicious. He drank only drinks. And Dave and I got buffalo burgers, and then Brayton treated us.
Oh,
so it was for me, it was like, it was just so special because I don't get invited very often, So for me, it was to land with these two guys and to be intimate with them and accepted. And we walked around the plaza and looked at old cars. It was just I'm grateful for it. It was a magical, it was magical. And how we let it unfold instead of anybody particular, deciding anything. We had no agenda and we just kind of floated. I love it.
Well, there's a real cosmic hand at work there, which is, we'll talk more about No Choice. Different talk, but this is one of the aspects of No Choice. I think No Choice is so multivalent that you can see it play out in many different ways. But one of the ways you play it out, there's this wonderful quote by Hegel where he says, it is as if we're all marching in a phalanx with an invisible hand. It's almost like the invisible hand of the markets guiding us. And some are taking head blows, some are casualties falling by the wayside, others are exalted as heroes, and so on in this great thing. Nobody's seeing, though, that we're kind of all being moved forward, and it's really about the program and what the program is doing and putting people in the right places at the right times for the right things to happen. And what was really interesting was the topic of my No Choice talk was that how do we reconcile the mechanism of no choice with quantum indeterminacy? And one of the ways to reconcile that, which I came up with around that talk, was that if something needs to happen, there's no choice, like this will happen, like someone will die at a certain date, like that is predetermined, like your exact moment of death, and then you avoid death, it happens a different way. And so it was a little bit like the avoidance, not that we have the free will to make the avoidance happen, but because something else, that there's just this kind of chaos of hodgepodge, but nevertheless, all of the waveforms, it can collapse to the left or the right. If it goes to the left, the next one goes to the right. It's like there's no escape in that sense. And that the orchestration of the waveforms collapsing is still guiding things to the same outcome, regardless. But in this case, it was really interesting because the Apothecary, which is one of my favorite restaurants as well, although is my favorite in Vide. I've never eaten there. I've never had any of their drinks. I mean, I've always wanted to, but I don't eat out a lot, but I love the vibe of it so much. And they have this amazing downstairs that has a capacity of 40.
Oh, wow.
And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a speakers only, because last year we did a speakers only Friday night thing, and it was so nice. I mean, I loved having all the attendees, but it just kind of felt, I wanted to treat the speakers.
Yeah.
So I talked to them about it, and I said, how much would it cost? The website, $600 something usually, and they said, actually, either we could charge and give people drink tickets, or we could do it free and just sell drinks and let's talk about it. And I talked to a woman named Maya, spelled M-Y-A. And already I'm like, well, the Maya. But it was spelled funny. And so I was like, that's interesting. Why is it spelled like that? Anyway, but so Maya and I had all these emails back and forth. And now that I think back, she did actually say, I have a friend who's really interested in human design, and maybe I'll invite her and all this stuff. Well, what ends up happening is life goes on. This was 3 months ago, 88 days, this is like this 88 day cycle. But anyway, we kind of forget about it. And then I finally send a message, hey, I'm really sorry. Things are so busy. Let's do it later. We're doing one in December. I'd love to use the space. It's a wonderful place and so on. So then life goes on, but it didn't quite come together. It was like right on the edge of coming together, but the art book took over and other things guided me. The quantum waveform collapse of possibility collapsed one direction. So then what happens? I completely forget about it. And then your server is Amy, who was Maya's friend who's into human design. And the night we were booking the event was Friday, September 15th, when I would have met Amy, because she had specifically said, I was so disappointed that the human design thing got canceled. I was going to meet the people there. And then she came to my house that night, and we met at the same time we would have met on the same day. At the exact same moment in time, we collided.
Yep. It was
in trajectory. I mean, it's like
No choice.
no choice. That's no choice.
Wow, I love it.
I mean, it's
It was amazing unfolding that whole.
And she's such a
amazing.
wonderful person. She came to the rest of the conference, and we had some great laughs, and it was just wonderful. Yeah.
Bless her. She just got blessed big time, man, to walk right into exactly what she has been desiring.
I'm gonna just give props to Brayton's inner vision.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Let's hear it from
That's
him,
inner
seriously.
vision right there.
Oh,
It was all so magical.
And he brought her here too, because when I got in, they were talking, and they looked like a couple. They were both dressed in black, and they looked so similar, and similar demeanor, and similar. I mean, it was like they had some serious past life resonance or something that he was able to bring her into that, and made me so happy to see. And it was just, I mean, just such a wonderful thing. And she's a 6'2" reflector.
Oh, pretty
She was the 7th reflector at the conference, at the event.
Seventh.
We had 7 last year too. So I believe someone said 8, but I think it was 7. I'm not sure.
So fun.
Anyway, yeah. Well, that was just what a lovely time. I mean, those synchronicities, those down to the same day.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing out the 28 years, the 7s, and then that started 7 years after the original transmission. I mean, we're definitely on this on this schedule, I guess you could call it. Everything's on schedule.
All right.
It's working.
Wonderful,
I love it.
wonderful. All right, well, let's wrap it up for now. We can
Yeah.
always do
Thank
one
you
later.
so
Thank you
much.
all.
Yeah.
I was there in Taos that year.